We set off on the Wednesday morning to come up to Inverness, stopping at Scotland Well for a night to break our journey. There's always room for the trailer there. We never had a drop of rain since we set off, and we hoped it would be a good day on a Saturday, and it was. A little bit draught with the wind, but nothing to speak of. Field was fairly dry. They'd only had the crop off on the Saturday beforehand. As you can see, I took a little bit film of the ploughing with the Caterpillar and the Ferguson. Two old machines, but making a fair job of it as far as I can see. Pete Small is commentating in the background. He knows a lot about many machines. Good commentator. The field is of 25 acres, good size, and a 10-acre one for parking cars. It lies about 4 miles from Inverness itself, at a place called Daviot, not far from Culloden battlefield. Fairly level, and not many stones, as you can see. They hadn't managed to make a stack this year, as it was too late, and there wasn't as much crop either. But however, eventually they were going to use the binder and a combine. Amongst the things on show in a tent, Watson Munro had a lot of photos and bills going back into the 1800s. He had been moving house and come across these old bills that his great-great-grandfather had got. Prices unbelievable. There wasn't such things as pounds, it was mostly shillings for bills. A good straight furrow. And now a little shot of one of the horses that was there with a cart. Eventually, some of them were dressed up for show. Probably see them later on. Doing a bit trotting in there. And a few different machinery parts sitting about as well. Here she comes again. Glasgow Jock is the name of this rope that they used to cover the actual stacks with. And a deer scarer. It'll be a type of bell. The old-fashioned flail and different instruments. Oil cans. Oh, an old tank of some kind of another. And this is a threshing machine, which he pedalled, and another person actually turned the handle. Different instruments again, and an old potty. Not many folk have seen these, just the bucket underneath. Here we are, he's showing you how he's doing it now. He's peddling it and threshing it, but he's nothing come real. That's better. He's just sticking the end in for it to be threshed. Now this machine was found in an old barn. I reckon there isn't another one like it. They took it to the Scottish Museum and they'd never seen anything like it. It's just a hand-cranked threshing machine. That's the lid getting put on, and where his hand is, that's where you put the oats in. And then they turn the handle and it's threshed out and it just falls onto the floor. You'll see he goes the wrong way first of all. But you see the other handle. Here's another horse. It's been dressed up now. They were actually doing it in the tent. In the background, you will see the pike we made in the morning. It's a good one as well. It came out as easy as anything. Ah, the pair of horses now. I don't know which type they are. With a set of discs, of course. With the wheels on the front. They're kind of dressed up in their tails as well. This is the lady that actually turned the horse engine last time we were up. She has a few passengers in the cart now. Whether they're paying passengers or not, I don't know. But they'll be enjoying that anyway. Here's the combine coming round. The class, I think it is. It's supposed to be one of the oldest, I believe. And now we see the rock maker. We've had it about 2 years now. Not had a lot of use of it. The weather hasn't been any good for us trying it at home. So this is really the first attempt with the land drive, which I put onto this year to celebrate 100 years of Patterson's patent. Patented in 1917. And then put into production and winning the silver medal at the Highland Show in 1921. When I got it, it was in a bit of a state. It had stood for since the 1970s, being used at the Castle of Stirling. Its owner, Andrew Dunn, had seen it working in the 70s. His father using it. The thing was that if the weather wasn't right, they put it into rocks or pikes for a fortnight. This warmed it up and they said it made good hay. All the hay from that area goes up to the islands in the north of Scotland. We're using it after the combine, cleaning up, just to give a demonstration. It should be hay, but we haven't any hay at the moment. There isn't much hay made. Now there's one thing he's doing wrong. He's turning the wrong way because it's only driving on the faraway wheel, which would make it slowing down. But it's not making much odds because there isn't that much stuff coming over at the corners anyway. I took it up to the Stirling Show, agricultural show, last year, and the old farmers came over and said, we never made hay like it after we'd done away with that machine. They were pleased to see it. The two men inside are tramping it down, sometimes getting covered, that's the only thing. It's a fair width of a machine. Holds 3 big bales, 9'6" wide over the wheels by 11'3" high. When it's on the car trailer, we can't get into some of the petrol stations to fill up, which is a nuisance. This is when we had a bit trouble with the tractor pulling. It was just, they had no weight on the back end of the tractor, and the weight of the actual pike maker didn't help, but it stuck, so we had to get another tractor. The rock maker wasn't marking the ground, so it wasn't much to do with that. It was just there was no weight on the back of the tractor. With them both in unison, they pulled no bother. We should have had a bigger Fordson or something like that. But if it had been on grass, I think that would have made a big difference. The Bamford, which I think is an 8-foot cut, has cut most of the area this afternoon. The combine is on its last full width round. It just has an narrow bit to do. Pete Small is taking photos of the actual combine. He is an editor for the Tractor Heritage, a new magazine. This shows the driver and the fellow bagging off the grain. It hasn't a tank on it, so there's plenty of bags left, I can see. It looks like as if they've got to start with the 2 tractors pulling now. There shouldn't be any trouble with both of them pulling. It was just the top side of the field where there was any difficulties.
And obviously the land drying on the rear wheels of these truck maker is obviously...
They look gay tight together anyway, short rope. That's me saying pull the throttle open a bit. Not going fast enough. It's coming in now all right. There's a few rows left yet anyway. When the binder was being used, they were actually carting it up and threshing it at the same time. They're pushing on now. There isn't a bad audience for the time of day it is. It's getting on for 4 o'clock. But there's one thing, there won't be many cows to milk up this area because it's mostly crop and cattle. Fattening cattle. When I got this machine, I was lucky enough to get some information and photographs from Stirling Library. Most helpful they were. The photos actually show them the actual advert of Robertson and McLaren of Stirling, calling it the Victory haymaking machine. Their advert said that if it could be sent anywhere in the country as long as there was a railway station, and it would come in 3 parts, easily assembled: the chassis, the basket and the elevator. You couldn't go wrong with fitting it. Every good farm should have one. They also were awarded the silver medal at the Highland Show 1921. We're not sure exactly if they made this one, but I've been told that Barclay, Ross and Hutchison made them in the 30s, and we think it would be this one because it has a basket that isn't round, it's hexagonal. The reason for that is it would be easier made than a round thing, and also holds more. As I've said, 3 large bales. Now it's getting nearer hand being full, and to empty it, first of all, the men put the ropes across the top and then get down and pull it over. As you can see, pulled over, and then it actually is gates are opened and it pulls forward, leaving the pike or rock standing upwards. They reckon 2 men could make 17 to 20 in an hour. On the way home from Inverness, we arranged to give a small demonstration at Alford, where the museum is, and it's a good museum. We got there and it was damp. Not too many folk about, but we couldn't expect it because it was forecast rain with high winds. Anyway, we decided to use a power takeoff this time, just to demonstrate it, and not put anybody in the actual top, because I would like to see what the kind of a heap it made at the finish, to save anybody getting in for future times. Now as you can see, it's a bit of old hay and it's fetching it in alright with the power drive. The field was as bare as anything, having had horses in it. It's throwing it in no bother. We've put the cage on the back in case we need to put someone in to level it off at the finish. The speed of the power takeoff made it much easier to control at the speed it was going into the basket. You could arrange it to throw it to either the front or the back, depending on the speed. Those were the original wheels at the back that was on it when we got it. The front ones we had to find ourselves. We're not sure whether they would be rubber or metal. But anyway, the rubber ones are much easier to turn than the metal ones. We eventually had to get someone into the basket to level it out. It was going to take a full bale to put it in without tramping down. As you can see, he's just pulling it back this way and managing no bother. A muck rake would have been better, I would think, than a fork. However, we hadn't one, so anyway, he's managing. On to the last row. You can see it's fairly buckling round, and it's as quiet as anything. We put guards on, as you can see, but in the old days there was no guard supplied. With one man in it in the old days, I don't think it would hold near as much as what we get in with two men, because it's well tramped down. So probably about a bale and a half would fill it, and it would sink a bit after. But they would clean it down with an actual rake and put the loose stuff on the top to stop the water from coming in. And now, as you can see, it isn't much of a heap, and we will open the gates and see what happens. We don't expect it to be standing too well. The gates are being opened now. Here they go. And he'll just pull forward. The tractor drivers forgot to get into the actual tractor. There he goes. Pull it forward. There she goes. Oh, it's still a heap yet. It's still a heap. Maybe a little bit lower at this back end, but it showed it what it's for. I have attached a photo at the end showing what it should have been like if two men had been in it. I hope this gives you an idea how it works. Thanks to the staff at Alford.